Dope Black Dad's followers, black people, white people, Asian people, we love you. We love you. Today's Friday, it's a good day. Cherry Capture, Diane the Millionaire Hair. What's going on? Today's a good day. Yes, Emmanuel, how you doing, sir? Yeah, how's your day? How's your week been? This week has flown by. Has it flown by for anyone else? Yeah, a little bit late on the live. And that's what it's about. So, yes, BCZ37, Humble Locked Sister. How you? Yeah, it's been Els Dio. It's been a tough week, man. It's been a tough week, but like I said, we grow, we learn, we get better. Molly Pugh. Yeah, get Troy on normally on Fridays. We get Troy Townsend, our resident Uncle T. He reminds me a little bit of Uncle Phil. The man's got a lot of wisdom, talks a lot of sense a lot of the time, and we still don't know how old he is. That's all I'm gonna say. And you know, if you guys have any questions about or anything you guys want to put out there, that's what we're here for. Lisa Roses, Step Nicely, Molly Pugh, Els Dio. How you guys doing? Thank you for joining us. Are you guys new followers? Have you found Dope Black Dads? Yes, here he is, the man of the hour. Yes, Molly, are you a new follower of Dope Black Dads? I haven't seen you before. Or you've just been hiding in the shadows. Good afternoon.
Jeez. What? I was running late. You was running late. What one was it? Huh?
No, everyone's running late. Today is Friday. Friday goes how Friday goes. It's
what day
crazy.
is it? How do you know it's Friday?
But someone told me it was Friday. Someone told me it was Friday. Amina Michelle, how you doing? Yeah.
I'm in a top class mood today. I'm in a top class mood today.
Listen,
so...
I'm in the same. I'm the same. Yeah.
Good.
I was asking people how long they've been following Dope Black Dads. We've had long time followers, new followers, old followers, medium followers. I'm new. Found y'all through another account. Yes. Love that. How you doing, Uncle T?
It must be ever since you've been doing these lives with me, innit? The followers must have gone through the roof, innit? Huh? Or what are you saying? They've dropped off? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? Today is such a good day. I'm not even gonna lie. Today.
You're not gonna go there. You're not gonna go there, no?
Today is such a good. You know what? I'll tell you guys something. Yeah, Uncle T. He wanted. After I did a live at the beginning of the week. So I've been calling him all week saying, "How you doing?"
Leave me alone. Go on, tell the people them your story. Go on, tell the people them your story. Go on.
I'm trying to check in on this guy. Eventually, I get hold of him, finish the conversation, and he says to me, "What? You think you're bad?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And it says, "I see your picture up there. What? You never treat me nice. You never put anything." And I said, "Okay." I said to him, "Send me a picture of you doing the nastiest pose you can, and I'll put it up." He didn't, so I had to go and pull one from the archives and use it today. The one where my man.
What, the stiff one? The stiff picture you pick, yeah?
The supermodel picture. The supermodel
you see that
picture.
one there? Yeah, pure makeup and all that on that picture, you know what I mean? Huh?
You look
pure
good though.
Makeup.
You look
well,
fresh.
I'm trying. It's a, a little bit of cocoa butter works wonders sometimes, you know. The last couple of times I've been on, I didn't use my cocoa butter, you know, but yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Looking
I'm loving
fresh.
feeling everybody today. I'm telling you, I'm in a mood. Listen, everything's healthy. So don't bring me down. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying nothing. My wife says hello.
Hello.
It must be either my wife or the kids, because the kids have mastered this whole thing.
Right. If it's the kids, then hi, hi, hi. If it's your missus, then you best stay on because I'm ready to cuss. So you know what I
Oh
mean?
wow, wow, wow. How you
No, all
doing though?
good.
How you doing? How
Yeah, it's
things?
been. Listen, when did we speak? When was it? Yesterday or the day before? I can't remember.
Yesterday, yeah, was it yesterday?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yesterday.
I've had a buzz of a day. I've had a buzz of a day. Done a couple of
Mm,
well, we've done a podcast which was really, really good, and
mm,
I felt the energy off of that podcast, and then I've also detached myself from all the negativity of social media,
mm, mm,
all
mm,
the
mm,
negativity of Twitter, and I'm just here for the voices. I'm here for the people that appreciate, understand, and I don't care where you're from in that aspect, but you appreciate and you understand
mm, mm,
everything that's going on at the moment, and the
mm,
hurt and the pain and the drive for change, you know. Stop making excuses, stop using elements of what is happening and use that for your purpose. And no one condones violence, no one condones rioting and whatever else. And I'm not asking people to look beyond that, but look for a purpose and a reason. Because
mm,
people didn't
mm,
just get up and started, violence and didn't just get up and started wanting to riot. These come
mm,
as a
mm,
consequence of other actions. So I'm trying to push away the negativity of so many people who don't get it.
mm,
And I'm trying to focus on the positive voices and the positive minds and the energy. And
mm,
I've taken a lot from a lot of energy in the last couple of days.
mm, mm.
And so
How
yeah,
light?
I'm smiling.
How light is your phone book now? Because mine's super light.
How light is the
Phone book, your phone book in your phone.
how light? It's not my phone book. It's my followers. My followers just drop off. You know what I mean?
Listen,
If they don't like it, right? They just drop off. And you know what? I don't care because maybe you shouldn't have
yeah.
been following me anyway. Do you know what I
In the
mean?
first place. My
Yeah.
my my I've literally declutter, and people have just left, right, and center. And I think you know what? It's telling because for me, I don't really look it too much into it. If I wasn't engaging with you in the first place, and you weren't engaging with me, whether you're a
Mm.
follower, whether you're a friend, you know, I'm tired of having acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of having people. Like for example, I will call you, and I know I'll try and call you because I'll get a measure of how you're feeling
Mm.
depending on various things. But I'll call you, and we'll have a real conversation.
Yeah.
It's my daughter. It's my daughter.
It's
Look,
your
I know
daughter.
it's unique. Oh, great. Um, so I will call you, and we'll have a real conversation. We'll have a real
Yeah.
conversation, and even if it's a 5 minute conversation, it's like how you getting on, you say, and vice versa, and then that's it. And that's it is
Yeah.
I'm not interested in people calling me and having a superficial conversation about nonsense.
Well, do you know what? I don't actually. The people that ring me for a purpose and for a reason.
Mm,
Some, I've got a broad, obviously, book because, from work purposes, from friend purposes, from
mm,
super friend purposes. You know what I mean? And
mm,
you kind of, I have to be open almost. But just lately, if you ain't got nothing for me, then what's the point?
mm,
And I think
mm,
we're all in that space at the moment. And like I said, the last couple of days have been very, very good in terms of just making sure I tone down the voices who are irrelevant and I turn up the voices who are important. And I think that's the thing that probably leaves me in a bright space now, because like I've just had an hour and a half of our podcast, and geez, honestly, and it was, I don't even want to talk too much because I've got to cut it up and put it out later, but it's with powerful female voices. And I'm telling you
mm.
now, the first part touched me just because of what they were talking about, and you know George Floyd's death from their perspective, and what they've had to go through. Do you know what I mean? And the
What's the
podcast is
podcast?
called The Conversation. The
What's the part
Conversation.
the conversation? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'll put it in because actually people will spell it wrong. But yeah. So just from that perspective, we've had some very good voices yesterday. Robbie Lyle from Arsenal Fan TV, Rodney Hines from The Voice, Jordan Jarrett Bryan from Channel 4, and we're all
Mm,
talking, you know what I mean, and expressing ourselves without fear of judgment. Um, and you know, it's just hearing voices that are very similar, although opinions are slightly different, is is unbelievable, and it makes you feel good, you know. And no longer do I need the 2 minute soundbite because one of the news channels wants me on their program, and then they cut up what I say and they put out 10 seconds, you know. And
mm.
the whole context of it is just all over the place.
The
You know,
podcast is
so
not going out tonight. Is the podcast
yes,
going out
yes,
tonight?
yes, 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 yes. Don't worry, don't worry. Once I'm done with you, once I got rid of you, yeah. Once I do your
Wow.
things, yeah. No,
Wow.
once I do
Wow.
your things, you see. Once I do your things, I'm gonna cut it up and do. But no, no, no. Well, there'll be snippets out tonight, and then it will be out in full tomorrow. So, because it's so important at the moment for our voices to be heard,
Mm,
I don't want to leave it. It can last a test of time because
mm,
what the girls are talking about in their experiences from work environment, from just being mums, do you know what I mean? From being
mm,
aunties, from being human beings, you know? It
mm.
lasts a test of time, but geez, man, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
I had the reason why I was a little bit late is I was having I managed to engage the top level of our company to
Okay,
have this conversation about race, because I
okay.
think it's one of those things that when you go to a company and tell them you are failing at D&I, their back goes up.
Oh, of course.
Their back goes up straight away. And it's a conversation, it's a hard conversation to have, but conversation I needed to have.
Mm,
So, you know, the very much so, you are failing at D&I, and this is what you need to do. It's a tough conversation to have, but I would encourage anyone to have that with the companies, because you're not going to get a better time and uh, a better situation or opportunity to have that
then
conversation
now. Mm,
than now. You
mm,
know, whatever, however tough you see it, you know. And we were on a call yesterday. We have a Thursday sharing call, with the Dope Black Dads group, and which we will be opening out to females as well, women, queens, you know, where we soon, right? And it's
mm.
powerful. And one of the guys in there says, and what was really interesting, he says to me, Troy, you, I don't know if you might relate to this. He says, I never knew that black was such a problem, because he runs. No, it's a black guy. Here it is.
Okay.
He How do you address the Islamic conversation? I tried to do this earlier in the year. I'll get to that in a minute. He
Great
runs.
question, that is.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question.
Mm,
He runs his own company, and he runs his company with his friends who are all
mm,
black.
mm,
He's black. All his friends are black. He's like,
mm,
I never knew this was a problem.
mm.
And that's the
Young,
other side
old,
of it.
young or old?
Old. He was probably in his late 40s, early 50s.
So what though? Has never had experiences though. Has never had to. No. Okay. All right. I
And this
mean,
is the thing, and it's increasing. I was just a surprise, because my
mm,
wife, she's in a similar category where she's only really started having experiences after we got married.
right.
So
Okay. So it's
a
your fault.
whole yeah, basically she got with a good looking black guy at the time, and then it all went wrong. So
Wow. I bet you used to trim your beard though at that time, innit? Huh?
listen, at that time I was fresh. I was fresh. Look, see, love hearts. That's definitely my daughter, because my wife won't put love hearts. Um, um, but yeah, it is, and it's very interesting. This is the other side of it that we don't see is, and that's the power of moving in our circles to a stage
Yeah.
where you never actually, and the way this guy moves is powerful. There was
Okay.
another story of a solicitor in our group who a couple of times has gone to represent clients, and the judge has been asking him to get in the dock.
Mhm.
He's saying, no, 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 you're the one that's supposed to go in there. And he goes, no, I'm representing him. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry.
Mm.
Like, what kind of madness is that?
Listen, I did a post this week when I think I said to you when we just have to talk about our towels sometimes, you know, and
Mm,
you know, going into a big room, you know, footballing room, you know, of a dinner,
mm,
and someone handed me their coat, thinking that I was a cloak attendant. Yeah, I'm in a suit, same way, you know. I'm in a bow tie same way because he had to do it, and I don't really like bow tie. Then they
Mm,
squeeze my Adam's apple, you know. But
mm.
man handing me, you know, his coat as if like I'm the cloak attendant, or the person saying, when can I order my starters, as if I'm the servant. And ultimately, that is how we are deemed. You see, this football industry, that's how you are deemed. That is the first port of call. You shouldn't be sitting down. You should be standing up. You should be serving. You should be attending. You should be. That's how they see us. So, you know, the thing is, I work in an industry that judges me every single day, and people like me. Yeah. So you should be blessed if you've created your own environment where you don't see that, you know,
Mm,
because it's not a nice thing to witness. You know, if you're new into it, it's not a nice thing to witness, and you've got to have a lot of backbone, you know, to survive that element. It's a testing
mm.
element. But even me now at my age, it will still exist if I go into a new environment, because that's how football is. And what's
What's
happened
your
just
age again?
now, yeah, yeah. Don't worry, I'm watching you, you know. I see you. Don't worry about that. Um, you know what? You know what? I ain't gonna hide nothing no more. We're in this time when we're supposed to be free, open, and honest.
Speak your truth,
I
old man.
Yeah, I'm flipping flame five says. Yes, yeah. I'm a 55-year-old man. Yeah, 55. Yeah,
You look good.
broke broke up knees, hip arthritis in my hip. Um, so I got a couple of tooth that might crack as well. You know what I mean? But I don't hide my age because it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But
You look
ultimately,
good though. You look
I
good
do
though.
try.
I think for
Honestly,
55, you look good.
yeah. You
I
don't have to
wouldn't have
say it. You don't have to say it. You know, you
I
don't have
wouldn't
to
have
say
put
it. I
you
said it
past a
once.
day over 60. I promise you, you look good.
I said you don't have to say it out loud. Yeah, just say it once and that's it. I've told you now and that's it. Yeah. But no, it's the things, and it's the reason why everyone's talking about sport no more. I
Mm,
really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Because sport has an obligation to be better. And I was on a radio show last night when they were talking about how much they had to be better, and it was an
mm,
all black cast, and we were getting absolutely killed by people who listening into the show say they don't want to listen to politics, they don't want to listen to racism, they're switching off, they don't want to listen no more, you know. And I just think to myself, that's what we're having to deal with. And you know what, switch off, because we ain't going nowhere, you know. So
mm,
that's the issues that you find with so many people. Why are we having to talk about race? Why is it? Why can it not everyone be equal? You know, it's like the
mm,
people that put hashtag all life matters. What
mm,
they're
mm,
missing is that we're not saying that all life doesn't matter. What we're saying at this period of time, the onus is on the black life, you know,
mm,
and this is
mm,
what the movement is about. We're not
mm.
disrespecting any other life, because we're not in a position to do that, because so many of our lives are going. So all we're saying is at the moment we're discussing black life,
Mm,
full
mm.
stop. And I can't understand people that can't understand that concept. I
But
just
then
can't understand.
this is the thing. I've got two analogies that I used for that. And good afternoon, Ash. And Rosie, who is in here. Guys, go and follow her. She can wave, make a hand known. You guys go and follow her. She's got a great platform, and I have to say, give props to her because she's really an advocate for Black Lives being mattering. Really is.
Okay.
And she is her partner is black, so the
Yeah.
kids are black, and this, you know, a lady on this Facebook group kind of said, well, all lives matter. And my thing is, if your house is burning down, I'm not going to stand there and say, well, all houses matter. That's stupidness. It doesn't make
That's a
any sense.
great. Yeah. I
If
hear that. I hear
if
that.
you're at a funeral mourning someone, I'm not going to come there and be like, you know what? Here's a picture of my nan. All nans matter. It makes no sense. So there's people that are saying all lives matter. Yes, all lives do matter. But like you said, right now, right at this very moment, I would even argue that, you know, some people, not all lives matter, because the lives of if the lives of the people that are racist, the lives of the people that have these racist tendencies, um, their lives really we could do without.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
You know, it sounds very grotesque and very kind of left, but really and truly, sometimes when I think about my own children and what they're going to have to go through, if this is not sorted, I think,
But
well, that we could do
Donald,
without.
that's exactly what I said last night. I said ultimately, they said, "Oh, Troy, what do you think? Can you see this as a seminal moment, and why are you still in it?" And I said, "I'm still in it because I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, and ultimately, I'm here not just for me. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for my
Mm,
children. I'm doing it for my children's children. I'm doing it for my friends, my colleagues, people who cross my path, who share their experiences and have no ability to challenge the very narrative that continues to go on out there. This is going to be way beyond my time, way
mm,
beyond my time, and
mm,
ultimately, if we cannot, and you know what's the good thing? That one of the things out of here is the messages from our young people. When I was young, it was a very long time ago, but I could never have spoken up and spoken out. I didn't know
mm,
how to. I didn't know, we didn't really have a platform. We had to accept. Our young people now, everyone focuses on sports people, but I'm not just focusing on sports people. I'm focusing on our young people. Anyone that wants to go on my Instagram, on my platform, watch my goddaughter. My goddaughter is 15, Sinead Brown, and I posted it 2 days ago, what it meant to her as a 15-year-old growing up in this country. The Voice but posted an 11-year-old boy who was right, who was reading out something that obviously he'd put together. That's what I'm talking about. Because at
mm,
15, I didn't know how to put the words together to understand what was going on up there, to put it down in black and white. It's taken me a
mm,
long time to do that. Our young people are ready. But the problem is they always get, every time, and unfortunately, there's a killing or a stabbing and a shooting out there, it paints the same brush for every single one of our young people. And
mm,
actually, they're judged on the fact that someone has killed someone, might not even be anywhere near them, but they're being judged on that. And then there's certain people that will always look at them and think, you're going to be no good. You're
mm,
no good. You're just going to follow that same life of crime. Our young people are smart, clever, beautiful,
mm,
appreciative. You show them love, they show you the same love back. It's like all of us. Let's be serious.
mm,
If you don't show me no love, you think I'm going to show you love?
mm,
You show me love, I'm going to show you the same love and more back. And our young people are so giving, but allow them to speak. Give them a voice. Make them feel like you understand and appreciate them.
mm,
But we're too quick to go, no, what are you doing? Talk, don't talk. I'm talking. You know that one. Don't talk. I'm talking.
mm, mm,
Cut it off right at the very, very outset. So I, I see it nearly every single day how the growth of our young people, it ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop. We've got leaders. We've got our leaders. Don't worry about that. And this, when everyone talks about it, don't worry about that. We've got our young leaders who are ready to take over the world. Yeah, you just watch them
mm.
fly. And
It's
hopefully I'm around to
amazing.
see it, Ben.
It's amazing to see them, to see a lot of those young people grow, the way they grow, and the way they're able to express themselves, right? And we must look at ourselves and also think we have done something right as parents, you know,
Without doubt.
100%. We've done something right. Someone said here, someone else wrote, I've had to explain to my son, and I felt a way having to justify the ignorance. You know what? And that's one thing. Mr. Cuttrell, David Cuttrell has joined us. How you doing, sir? But there's what I would say is do not hide this away from your kids, regardless of how old. Well, make it age appropriate, but I would say if they can comprehend what's going on, explain it to them, because a lot of the time we take it for granted that kids don't understand what's going on. My son is 3 years old and he has full comprehension of what is going on.
Mm.
You know,
mm.
he turns around to me and he says, "Dad, what they're doing to black people is bad. I'm gonna
But
grow up to change the policy."
but you know what? You know what, D? And listen, Dave's Cottrell's there, and I've never ever met Dave. Yeah, never met him.
Mm,
But we have a mutual appreciation of what each other does. He talks my language. He's not my color, but he understands and appreciates what we are going through, what he's gone through. I appreciate every time he talks because he talks about mental well-being, and you know the space I am in with that.
mm,
And so there's that mutual appreciation, first of all, as both of us as a human being,
mm,
and I would applaud people to not judge first and foremost. But you know what? Do your watching, do your listening, do your reading. And I can feel people by what I hear, what I read on social media, or what I watch, and a couple of interaction. I can really feel people that way,
mm,
and more and more so now. And this is why, like you said, let's clean a little bit. Let's clean a little bit of what we're doing, because some of the people I've just got no connection with whatsoever. And actually, so why do I want them watching my life? Why do I want them being part of things that I'm trying to initiate? Because they don't agree with it, So actually, I've had so many people comment on stuff and saying, "Oh, there you go again." And when
mm,
someone
mm,
says to me, "Here you go again," it means that they've got no appreciation of what I'm talking about or what I'm going through. So I don't need you in my life. I don't need, because
mm,
you're the people that actually are bringing us down. You're absolutely bringing us down. So I connect with people who absolutely I feel like energy with. Dave's one of those people I feel energy with. There's so many more people. My own community, there's so much great energy now, and
mm,
we
mm,
cannot let this moment go. We cannot, because if we let it go, we're going to wait for another killing
mm,
to then
mm,
resurrect again and say, "Come on, we need to do this,"
mm. And it comes from surrounding, and it's exactly speaking to what you're saying, Troy, is surrounding yourself with like-minded people, people who have that, who will call you to account, but also will educate you, will support, will see the pain you're going through, have that understanding, and you just have to go back once you start, and it goes down even to what you follow on social media and what you follow around and how it forms what you are,
yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah,
Because, like
that's
you
our
said,
new form of learning.
yeah, I accidentally stumbled upon Dave, but because I was following either you or someone else that he does, or even Marvin Sordell, I
Mm.
fell onto Dave. And knowing
I didn't
that
stumble across him. It's because he's bored, and because he was bored, when we're both bored, we have a certain thing that, what I mean. At least we can align ourselves to. Then I found
Dave,
out he could chat. So
don't let him do that to you, Dave. Don't let him do that to you.
then I found out
Um,
he could chat.
yeah. Listen, there's a couple of things here
There's
that
a good, some
people
good.
have been
Yeah, let's pick
asking.
up on them. Let's pick up on them.
So I'll pick up from the one that someone asked earlier on. How do you speak and how do you hold your company accountable to D&I? I think that question was up here somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
you might have to answer that. Do you know why? Because I'm in an organization that challenge it all the time.
mm,
You know what I mean? So I'm quite fortunate because, and if my organization doesn't, I'm knocking on the door. So at
mm,
this
mm,
period of time where we're being questioned quite a bit, what are you doing? Kick it out. What are you this? What are you that? So
mm,
hold on a
mm,
minute. We were the first one. We were the first ones to put in football to acknowledge the very situation that's happening. We've advised a number of clubs on whether they're doing the right thing and the messaging that they're saying is doing. Sometimes you don't always have to shout from the rooftops.
mm, mm, mm,
But if there's something that we are not doing, I am the one who knocks on the door and says, "Hold on a minute, we're being left behind." And
mm,
I've built that up over years. It's not an easy thing to just say, "Right, boss, yeah, listen, I'm black. Is there any chance that this organization starts understanding what it's like to be a black man?"
mm,
It's
mm,
not,
mm,
I can appreciate that. But you know what? If they value you, if they trust you, if they appreciate you, and if they understand you, and like now is the optimum time to do it, knock on the door.
mm.
Knock on the door and ask your organization, what are we doing as part of this movement? Because as
Yeah.
I look around me, boy, it's only me.
Mm,
So
mm.
now is the optimum time for that. I'm telling you that for nothing.
Yeah, it is an optimum time. And from a kind of a DNI corporate perspective, I think you need to look at where I think the first thing you need to look at is look upwards. What's at the
Yeah,
board? What's at the board level? And if what's at the board level doesn't really fit what we know as DNI, a diversity, then you need to question yourself. One, um, why not? And secondly, rather than them giving you a speech and having a diversity and inclusion board, how can you get onto that board? And then how do you then start pushing your ideas and challenging them? And there is a D&I that companies have to fulfill, but you can also see where those companies are failing at that D&I. And interestingly enough, over 80% of companies that have a D&I a policy are failing at those policies. You know,
yeah.
and you can hold those companies accountable because they have to have diverse representation on their
Well,
DNI boards.
all I would say to you is, you see the paperwork for that what you're talking about there
Mm,
is normally in the bottom drawer.
yeah,
You know, it is normally hidden away. Is normally make sure no one sees that, because we're just
yeah,
going to crack on because we know what works best for us.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
the optimum. You got to remember, a lot of these organizations, and I saw a lot of these organizations, particularly in football, putting out things Life Matters and square
Mm,
box in their accounts when they
mm,
have done nothing towards this agenda in football. And as a matter of fact, what they've done is actually challenge it whenever it lands on their doorstep, in
mm,
terms of
mm.
being so defensive of their own. Do you know what I mean? And I can't name clubs. It would be wrong of me. Do the research, and I tell you, you'll see some clubs who you think to yourself, "Are you kidding me? Are you putting out a message today, a day that actually, people are trying to show solidarity, and you're trying to put out a message to jump on the bandwagon?" Hold those people to account. If you know those organizations, hold them to account, because what they're
Mm.
saying is, we're standing up for this. But if you're standing up for it, come on then, put your money where your mouth is, or put your
Yeah.
diversity where your mouth is.
Mm. And you have to be almost prepared to kind of walk the walk, not just talk the talk. It goes both ways. If we're challenging, if you're going to challenge a company, you have to be prepared to walk that walk and say, look, if you're not willing to support me, I know where I stand, and I know that I'll go and find somewhere else. You have to be
Donald, let
prepared
me
to
tell
walk
you
away.
now. Let me tell you now, and Kevin Lisby's down there as well with Dave. These men are ex-professional footballers. They know if I was talking shit, they would actually pull me up on it. But they know
Mm,
they've got no need to pull me up on it, because they've been in the industry. They've been in the changing room. They've been behind closed doors. I'm doing it from another level. Do you know what I mean? There's people there that truly, Salma, doing it from a female perspective. There's people
mm,
there that absolutely know what I'm talking about. And until we can get people like them, like us, into prominent positions, this game ain't changing. People think it's a game changer. I don't think it's a game changer, because how are you
mm,
going to get rid of the white middle class man?
mm,
Do you know what I
mm.
mean? How are you going to get rid of the who sees football as their pay packet? How? We have an opportunity for diversity. They'll diversify the bottom level, the grassroots level. Yeah, we can do that, but we don't want them coming up into our jobs.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm.
This is how I've been living for the last 20, 30 years of my life. It's man in job that's collecting money that, I'm telling you now, could fund our organization and could fund football to be more inclusive, but they sit on it because it's their cash. They're not in it for purpose. They're not in, and I'm sure if it's like that in football, you go across the sectors in sport and then go out into wider business, you go out and find the same steps there.
Yeah, yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Lisby sleeps in his kick it out t-shirt. I saw a picture with Kevin in the t-shirt today, so I know. Listen, Kev, I've got more for you if you want them. Don't worry about that. I've got more for you
I
when we
want
come back
one.
from
I want
Stock
one.
Chat.
What you're giving them out
You've
for
got
free?
one.
It's like now, them
You've
lot,
got one.
everyone,
You've got one.
you lot are getting t-shirts, and I'm just here like this. Yeah, okay. Say no more. Say no more. Listen, Troy, I need to send you a Dope Black Dads t-shirt as well. So
Yes, it would be nice,
yeah.
please.
Um, but
I ain't get
how
sending
do
you
you?
one before you send me one.
I've already sent you a box of chocolates.
You know what? I forgot to say them things were nice.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I didn't even share them with the rest of my family. Them things were nice. I hid them upstairs. They weren't, seriously. They were proper. Where you get them from?
Don't worry.
Now
I
look,
hook you
everyone wants a t-shirt. Look, everyone wants a t-shirt.
up.
Listen, when we're out of lockdown, I make sure all my people, all the people that are listening in, all the people that are commenting, all the people that actually understand and appreciate what we are discussing here. Listen, that's my thing to you guys for being absolutely supportive. And a lot of them I know, a lot of them are new friends. Been so supportive. You can't do this journey alone. And I wouldn't be here without the support of others who have given me a platform or who have sent me a message who have, you know, just said, Troy, love what you said today. Because sometimes we never know how far our reach goes, you know,
Yeah.
and we never know
100%.
how much people are listening. So,
What do you think? I want to ask you, Troy, what should an employee, before I jump in and answer some of that, what should an employee do if you're going into work and no one has mentioned it? No one,
say that again.
everyone has just acted. What if you go into work, it's your workplace, and none of your colleagues are mentioning this?
Talk about it. Guys, did you see the news the other day? Guys, do you know what I mean? Guys, oh man, I'm feeling really down about what's happening and the way that society is, blah, blah, blah. Talk, because you'll soon know which one of them are uncomfortable. You know, the ones that, oh, shit, right, okay, listen, he's brought it up, because they'll be talking. Don't worry about that. So just talk and see what kind of response you get. You might be surprised. You might get people who come out and say, boy, we didn't know we could discuss it with you. Do you know what I mean? Maybe just said, open your mouth. It's true. Or you might actually think, yeah, I knew they wouldn't be able to talk. There's no more of this hiding behind closed doors. There's no more of this, you know, oh, I'm not going to say nothing because, you know, let them judge you. They're going to judge you anyway. So let them judge you if they want. Talk. Don't you be uncomfortable anymore. Make other people be uncomfortable.
That's
Simple as that.
exactly what I was gonna say. Is not, don't make how do we get those old pros like Kevin Lisby, etc., into
They
influential
don't want
positions
Kevin
in the top
Lisby
clubs?
in a position. Kevin knows it as well. I'm not saying anything that he doesn't know. They don't want Kevin in a position. Why? Because he's outspoken, okay? Because he will want change. And you know the biggest thing? Because he's black. So how many of us are in influential positions? You know, so he knows. I'm not saying nothing that he don't know. He knows. So he's better off doing his thing. He coaches young people. He coaches, you know, he's an influence anyway because he's an ex-pro, you know. So sometimes we have to not settle for it, because would I love to see more Kevin Lisby's, Troy Townsend's, David Cotterell's, people that have everyone's, like, everyone at heart rather than just the people that look like them? Yeah, of course I would. You know, but sometimes, you know, what's the point of battling against it? Influence where you can. Let people appreciate you from where you can. And if you do want to go through the doors, let's go together. Let's go together, you know. So I champion people everywhere I go. Most of it, to be honest, goes straight over people's head. But I champion people everywhere I go. And that's the only time we're going to really get people to appreciate. There's also people who champion on the outside. Let me tell you this, and I don't care. There's people that champion on the outside, and when they get in, they put on the coat, you know, the suit of the organization. And then all of a sudden, right, you can't hear from them again, you know. They put on the suit, they become acclimatized, they're happy. I think to myself, hold on, you were militant on the outside. Militant. You know what I mean? God, power and everything. You get with the coat, with a little bit of change, and all of a sudden, you've changed. So, you know, we have to be careful who we try and get in as well, because there's some people that are not in it for the right reasons, not in it at all. And yes, Cots, together is always stronger, always. And I'm happy. Do you know why I'm happy? Because I know that there's a good circle of people outside the game, inside the game, but outside the big unit. Do you know what I mean? Who are influential, who are doing a thing, who are keeping us. So we're surviving, you know, we're surviving because we will influence. And like I said, if it's not me, my generation, it will be another generation who take empowerment from the likes of the guys that are sending the messages, you know, because it's important to acknowledge that, man.
And you know what is people need to understand that good work always lasts a lot longer than bad work. Good work, the people that are doing the good work, You will go, come, turn up, turn down. They will always be there. The people that are just
Donald,
coming to do whatever, eventually they
I don't
come.
know, Donald. I'm telling you now, I really get what you're saying, but you see this
Mm,
football thing. You see this football thing.
different.
Man can sit on their backside for 30 plus years, coining a living, coining a living. Don't give a shit about me. Don't give a shit about all the ex-players. They're coining their living. Football lives in this bubble. It creates its own bubble and it saturates its own bubble. You know what I mean? And the minute you get into a position of prominence, you're laughing. It's cool. You're fine. You get a financial aspect to go with it. You're happy. You don't care about no one else. You don't come out the game. You stay forever and a day. You don't come out, and that's the hardest thing to take, because there's too many good people that have fallen off by the wayside as well, because they can't impregnate that bubble. They cannot. And I don't know how some of them have lasted so long, but we've lasted so long because we believe in what we're doing, and why we're doing it, and why we'll always understand that there'll be others underneath us that need us, that will help
Mm,
make change.
mm, mm.
Sorry, I'm ranting, proper ranting.
No, no. But it's true. It's true. And to go back to that question where someone asked is, you've got to talk. You've got to talk. You've got to address it head on, because if you don't address it head on, what you've got to, it's this time. And I know some people might not have the same disposition as I or you, um, David Cottrell. I hope you're not just referring to Troy, but you'll
He is just
listen.
referring to me because you ain't got no time. You ain't got. Come on now, man. He knows I'm speaking facts. Hold on.
I'm
Who
say
is
no
who
more.
is Banter's 9 with one
Appa-
thick piece of chest there? Who is that?
that
Ban 9 as who is that? Testament. It must be one of my followers, but I don't know if I know them as Banners 9.
that you're showing me your office. Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing there.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
go on. Am I back? Am I all right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Chris, Chris.
Listen,
Sorry.
let's have
Keep
this.
going. Keep going with the
This
question.
is no. What I was gonna say is you've got to face it on. You really have got to face it on. You've got to face it head on, and you've got to address it, whether it be with the relevant people. Because I found myself in the same scenario at work, and all we had was a message from the CEO saying, um, or it's no to racism. But I had to go to him and say, look, this is not good enough. It's not good enough. You
Let
can't
me
just
ask.
say,
Let me ask you something. What does no to racism mean? Ask them that question. What does no to racism mean? If you can't quantify it, don't say it. If you cannot quantify something, don't just run along with the hashtag or the statement because UEFA or whoever it may be told you to do it.
mm,
What does it mean? That's what I always say. If your boss tells you to do something related to D&I, ask your boss, boss, do you know what it means? What does it mean? So, because if you're telling someone to do it, surely you know what you want from them, yeah? Or
mm,
surely you know
mm,
what you want them to adopt. So don't just say no to racism for the sake of it, because some of them wouldn't even articulate. When you say no to racism, boss, what do you mean? Oh, I don't know. Hold them to account for the words that come out of their mouth. When it comes to D&I and whatever it may be, hold them to account. Make sure they understand. Do you know what I mean? The message that they're
mm,
sending out of
mm,
their
mm,
organization. Make sure
mm,
they understand. And I
mm,
guarantee you, half the time they'll stutter and then they'll shut the door in their office and think, geez, I don't want to go back there again until he's gone. So
mm.
don't accept anything when it comes to a brand or a hashtag or a whatever else. You know, all them people that were putting out sorry, see how now you get me vexed after I was all in a good mood and everything, yeah?
Address it with HR. Ask them to create a diversity. Listen, listen. Companies have by law have to. They can't have, if they claim to be, D&I correct or whatever. They have to create that board, and they have to have people on that board that are a balanced, that propagate what is in the company, whether it be black, Asian, whatever it is. They just need to create that. Um, Yeah, is I just want to get back to the good vibes. Right. What else are we talking about? The dancing, dancing piece. Talk me through the candy that was on. I retired 2 years ago. In the game, in the changing rooms, coming from coaches and managers, would like
Yeah,
to
the
wear
team
this
t-shirts.
t-shirt
Yeah,
again.
yeah, that's our t-shirts he's talking about. So basically, it's the coaches and management who are just telling them, just put these on, chaps. You know what I mean? Tick box exercise. The video I posted the other day literally was obviously, like I said to you, so much negativity at the moment, so much negativity, and I'm reading it, I'm consuming it, and I'm getting negative myself. You know, it's raining outside. All of a sudden, the hot weather's gone, and you're feeling down, and then you're reading everybody, and you're reading all the shit that people are putting down. I just thought to myself, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I need to wake up and feel good about myself again, you know?
Mm,
And I came across the video, and I just put, you know, because if we only focus on the negative, that's exactly where the space we're going to be in. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
If
mm,
we all we're doing is reading and listening to negativity, it's going to manifest in you. Full stop. There's no way
mm,
about that's your learning. So the video came out, couple of them US cops dancing with the black community.
mm,
Why would you not think that that is brilliant? Because on the news, all they show you is how the US cops and the black community are fighting each other, or against each other, or this, that, the other. So let's put a little bit of positivity out there where people can actually appreciate that, you know what, stop watching it all.
mm,
Stop it.
mm, mm.
So
And you made a great point that I want you to kind of elaborate and kind of make that point again. When we spoke yesterday, you were saying you will never see a video of a white man being killed over and over and over again without being censored.
yeah, yeah, that the George Floyd's death, and we had this conversation on our show yesterday. I can't watch it. I can't watch someone's life ebbing away on the news constantly, constantly, constantly. I don't know how the news allow it. And I just said I can't watch it. And you know, the thing is, listen, most people know I lost my son. So I lost my son at the moment when he was going to flourish. He was going to be a bright young human being, you know. And I've never been able to watch someone's life
Mm,
ebb away. So for the so insensitive, you
mm,
know, the man's knees on him. I watched it the first time it came on. I didn't know what it was, and then I
mm,
vowed never ever to watch it again or turn away from it again. You know, but they keep showing it. But yet,
mm.
and this is the British media I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing in America, but yet when there's a racial incident in a ground in England, the people that are flying the racial abuse about, and you have to say allegedly because that's the English term,
Mhm.
when it's shown back on the news, they blank out their faces.
Yeah,
They blur their faces
the blur. Yeah.
because apparently for legal reasons. So that image of all them fans racially abusing Raheem Sterling at Chelsea, the minute they knew it was of racial abuse, they blurred out all the faces every time they showed it on the news, on social media, on everything. When the Manchester City fan racially abused Fred in the Manchester derby, we'd already seen the image, but they blurred it all out. But hold on, when there's death, you're going to continue to show it. The man's life. I mean, how do you know his daughter hasn't seen that? Watch her
Mm,
father killed. And you know what? Everyone's saying, oh, you know, by the police. No, it's 4 policemen. It's not 1, it's 4.
mm.
It's 4, not 1. So how are we watching it? And I guarantee it will be on the news again tonight. I guarantee you. And I just can't understand. I can't fathom that out.
But then
Why they would be
imagine they
allowed to do
haven't
that.
shown the policeman going to court. They haven't shown the policeman being
Yeah, but
arrested. They
why would
haven't
they?
shown the
Because there's a
police.
protection there. Remember, let's put it into context. Let's put it into context, right? If that was 4 black men on top of a policeman, they'd all be arrested immediately. They would never have got away from that. Yeah, they would never have got
Hmm.
away from that scene. Yeah, never. The policemen, the officers were allowed to walk away from the scene, probably collaborate a little bit. Then a couple of days later, the first one gets arrested. The other three are still live. They're out. They're obviously worried, but they're still out there. And then the other three get arrested. And then the charge goes up. We would never have been allowed, our people would never have been allowed to get away from that scene.
Mm.
So, and by the way, the the president, sorry, I was going to call him the prime minister. They both look the same. They both act the same. He didn't condone it, did he? He didn't actually condone it, did he? He actually was more worried about the violence and the rioting. He didn't actually, sorry, condemn.
No,
He
he
didn't
didn't
actually
condemn.
stand there and go, this is unbelievable. You know, my officers who have taken another black life. He didn't. My man more worried about, do you know what I mean?
The looting, the
Getting down
violence,
into his,
all the
yeah,
rest.
looting and and then getting down in his bunker because they were all coming too close to the White House. It's you know, it's nasty. What's going on out there is nasty.
Mm.
And people saying that there will be change, I'm not so sure. Change if he doesn't become president again, yeah, in November, but not
Mm.
at the moment. I can't. It's empowering what's going on, but we've been there before, haven't we?
We
Remember
have.
Rodney King?
Yep.
Remember Rodney
Yep.
King
Yep.
and
Yep.
the uproar around Rodney King? Remember, they're
Mm.
still doing, the police officers are still doing the same thing.
Mm.
Absolutely, still doing the same thing. So how far have we come from Rodney King?
Mm. But we as a people, we have to, as individuals, we have to start healing from this. And this is the thing that you were saying, you know, which is why I brought up that video, that we have to heal from this. We have to understand that we are seeing this thing play out on national TV regularly. It's a trauma in itself. It's a trauma. You know, it is a set of traumatic experiences. You know, and we have to heal. We have to look away from these things and choose not to watch traumatic. You know, the death
Yeah,
of
but it's interesting, you know, because yesterday, obviously, like my podcast, there was a difference of opinion. There was,
mm,
yes, can never watch it before. Then there was a, no, I want my people to watch it because I want them to learn what they're doing about us or doing to us. And then there was a, I want my children, and when I say children, I don't mean the youngest ones, but some of the youngest ones have seen it, was to appreciate and understand what we have to go through, you know? So I wouldn't want to criticize anybody that has a different view to mine. That is
mm,
my view.
mm,
And if you appreciate it, it's okay. If you don't, we're not going to fall out. It's
mm,
my view on what I feel. You know, I've lost someone, you know, so close to me that my heart still breaks. I cannot watch someone's life ember away and say to an officer of the law, you know, the people that were born to protect us,
mm.
that I can't breathe. So that's my opinion. But I do also appreciate and understand that there's different views on this as well.
Mm. I think Josh asked here, so what are the views of the police trying to ban protest under the guise of Corona? Listen, Corona is a real thing, right? All viruses matter. That's what I like to say. My brother-in-law said that to me, and not just coronavirus, but all viruses matter. But it is, you have that Corona is a real thing. It's 100% a real thing, and we are disproportionately um, dying at a faster rate than our white counterparts. And because it's a real thing, it is real that they have to think about. You have to think about when you do go to this protest. I understand why people go to this protest, but I personally, I wouldn't go because I have young children. I am more at risk than someone else, than other people. So I would have to think twice about going to a protest. And police, you know, trying to ban protests under the guise of Corona, I know for me, I will encourage it because I know I wouldn't want to put myself in that position. I wouldn't want to put myself in a position where I might pick it up from someone else and give it to someone else. You know, so
Listen, we're
I
all
think,
responsible for each other, aren't we? We're all responsible for
yeah,
each other, but we're all responsible for our own.
yeah,
You know, if people want to go, you know, again, I just think we're focusing on the wrong thing. And listen, we're all aware of what this virus has done, and I think also we're all aware of how the governments have tried to hide the virus from us. You know,
mm,
we have to
mm,
take responsibility for ourselves. And you're right, we're in a vulnerable group, and it's not me trying to. Right, listen, I went to see my grandchildren for the first time in 12 weeks. That's all I'm
mm,
interested in. You know, that's my blood, that's my love. I've missed them like crazy. That's all
mm,
I was interested in, you know.
mm,
Going out in the garden and seeing them and seeing their smiley, happy faces again, because it puts everything back into perspective, you know, and they're only
mm,
babies.
mm. Yeah. You know what is? Let's go back to happiness. I want you. I want you to name me um your top 10.
Oh, Jesus. Top 10?
Top 10. No, actually, top 11 starting lineup. Just the starting lineup. Black football players
Dave, sorry, you're not allowed in this one.
in the UK
What
of
now?
all time.
Of all time? Are you
Top
mad?
top 11 UK
What?
only all time
Team?
team.
What players that have played in England?
They've played in the UK. Yeah.
Right, well, there
This
ain't
is
no goalkeeper, is it? So how can I do that?
well.
Black people can't keep goal.
Listen, Troy Davis, sick goalkeeper. One of the best goalkeepers. I think Troy Davis for me is still one of the best goalkeepers to never have played in the Premiership.
All right, we'll put him in goal then, yeah. Um, Ashley Cole, Rio Ferdinand, Virgil van Dijk.
You take Ashley Cole over Trent.
Ashley Cole left back.
Oh, left.
And
Sorry, sorry.
by the way, there has been no better left back than Ashley Cole. There is no argument. Shaka Hislop, what a shout! What a shout! I don't like West Ham, that's why I didn't remember him. But what's a good shout? Ashley Cole is the best. Ashley Cole never got the credit he deserved for whatever reason. And when they started calling him Cashley and whatever else,
Ashley
best left
Cole.
back there is. Best left back. Ashley Cole, Virgil van Dijk, Rio Ferdinand. Remember, I'm doing this off the cuff, yeah?
Mm.
Rio, right back. Right, let me come back to right back. Thierry. So I missed the midfield for a moment. Thierry,
Mm.
righty, because of the God.
Mm.
Full stop, because of the God.
Mm.
JD. This is my opinion, by the way. Yeah, I don't care if people say, oh, they didn't do this or that. That's my opinion. JD, Jermaine Defoe. Midfield is a tough one. It's a tricky one. Do you know what? And I'm going to go against any kind of grain here. I loved watching Ricky Hill, Luton Town.
Mm.
Love watching Ricky Hill. Jeez. I don't
So
want to pick
you,
the obvious ones, the ones that are in there at the moment. Man said John Barnes. Me and John are not the best of friends at the moment. You know that.
why not?
I'm
Why
just
not?
seeing so much on social media and the way John's talking, but he
Let's
should be in
let's
there.
talk
You're
about
right.
the job bars. Let's
No,
talk
don't.
about it for a
No,
minute.
no, no,
Let's,
no,
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 no.
no,
You
no. Not
remember?
today.
You said
Not
to
today.
me,
You're gonna brock. No, not today. You're gonna brock up my vibe, man. John, I'll put John Barnes in because he's a Ricky Hill legend. You see, Chrissy knows.
yeah, Ricky Hill. Okay, Ricky Hill. So you're not gonna play. But I'll let you finish. There's Torre, Yaya. There's
Good
Vieira,
shout. I'll go Vieira. So if I go Vieira, who did I say? Barnesy and Ricky Hill.
Makalele.
Torre can sit on my bench. I'll do Ben. John Barnes views. Lord help us. You see. Macaulay. Oh, Macaulay. See, now you're bringing all. See, that's a no. You got to give me till next week to finish this.
Etienne.
You got to give me till next week to finish this. You got to give me till next week. Right back. Let me tell anyone. Right back. Not Paul Parker and not Paul Parker. But you got to give me till next week to finish this. Still waiting on a name to be called.